Hello, my spiritual seekers. It's Sid here, your spiritual muse, Crystals of Quartz, and I'm here to talk to you today about the new moon in Taurus. And that's going to occur on April 22nd at about 10:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is. So you can always check what time it is in your time zone just with a quick Google. So the new moon is in Taurus, right? The sun's also in Taurus. So we're going to have a lot of very earthy energies, a lot of grounding going on. It's a great time to get down to the earth, maybe take a walk outside, take off your shoes, walk in the dirt if it's warm enough. It is, starting to get a little warmer outside depending on where you are in the world. So I definitely recommend getting back to nature at this time if you can. But in addition to that, being about grounding in the earth, it's also about finances, right? So those very necessary human things, the earth that we put into our body, thinking about the things that we're eating, thinking about our surroundings, right? The earth space we live in. Do we like the way our house looks? Also thinking about our personal confidence. The solar plexus area is going to be triggered around this time. And then also our values. So how are we doing with our values? Are we living up to our own moral code? That kind of thing. And how do we feel about ourselves too, from a perspective of, can we get things done? Can we put our hooves in the ground and move, or stand firmly in the things that we believe in, right? Are we standing firm in our morals? So that's kind of the basics of what this energy is about. Now, a new moon is always about manifesting. So how and what do you want to create things in your life? What kind of things do you want to bring in now? What energies are you hoping to be working with? So some other aspects we have, always in my videos, Marceline, she just loves them. Anytime I'm talking about anything astrological, tarot, you name it. So what else is going on? We have the sun in Taurus again. We also have the sun conjunct Uranus, which is going to bring about a lot of change. We also have the sun square Jupiter, which is about confidence and success, but not taking on too much. So maybe narrowing down the things you're trying to manifest at this time, and don't take on too much, or you won't get much done with any of it. So really do your best in a couple of things, or maybe one thing, instead of working on one giant thing. Then we also have the sun square Saturn, which is about challenges of character and possible depression. So it could be a time when, if we're all still stuck at home, maybe we're getting a little bit depressed. So try and focusing on your mood and doing things like going out into nature and things that could maybe make you a little bit happier. We also find the sun square Pluto, which is going to bring about issues with control and also rebirth. So thinking about the way we need to transform in our lives and the things we want to create, but also how our control and issues with control might affect us being able to create things or not. Sometimes if you're trying to control things too much, you won't be able to actually manifest things in your life, and you won't be able to be reborn. Just allowing yourself to let go and to have that rebirth moment. Then we have the sun's semi-square Neptune, which is going to be about helping others, but not over helping. So help if you see an opportunity, but don't push it too much. If someone says they don't need help, accept it, right? So helping others can be very beneficial at this time. We also have the moon quincunxed Mars, which is going to be about learning to respond quickly. Then we have the moon square Jupiter, which is a changeable energy, and it can make us a little bit overly self-indulgent. So thinking again, balancing our need to help ourselves and our need to help others too. So don't indulge too much with yourself. Also, if you're sitting at home, maybe thinking again about how we're feeding our bodies on a, food level. Don't binge. If you can help yourself to kind of slow down on the food intake and to eat more mindfully, that'll be very beneficial at this time too. We also have the moon square Saturn, which is going to make it hard to connect. We're going to be feeling a lot of loneliness. We've now been, most likely all of us have pretty much been in quarantine for a very long time at this point. So it's only natural that you'd feel a little bit lonely, right? So trying to do things to connect, you might be having some difficulty at this time. So just reach out, even if it's just a phone call, whatever it is, try and reach out to people. It'll be really helpful at this time, and maybe try to do that before it gets to be to a point where you're lonely to the point that you are feeling broken down about it. Your low self-esteem may also be holding you back at this time. So really working again on that confidence, that solar plexus. So trying to maybe write a list of the things that you like about yourself, doing something like that that's going to be positive and help you to have a little bit higher self-esteem. We also have the moon conjunct Uranus, which is about listening to your intuition. So taking a time in this stillness, we've been in this stillness for so long already. If you haven't been listening to your intuition, really start to try and tune in and hear what that has to say. And even if it sounds silly, just pay attention to what it is. Maybe keep a journal and just write things down, right, that you get. And then look back at them and see how it's feeling. How are you connecting with your intuition? We also have the moon square Pluto, which is about the subconscious coming out. It can be sort of compulsive and destructive. So be really careful with this aspect, because you want to really sort of try and think things through before you do them and before you speak, because you could do something that could be pretty destructive and we could be acting out of compulsion. So just really thinking through things if we can at this time. We also have Mercury sextile Venus and Mars. And that can be about stimulating the mind and creativity and socializing. So socializing in healthy ways at this time, right? And also that masculine and feminine play that's at play, right? So it's possible, you could have very good communication between people at this time, especially between men and women, and between things about the divine masculine and the divine feminine. We also have Mercury square Jupiter, which is going to be about hope and a broader outlook. Focusing on the details. So this can be a really amazing thing to have happen at this time, because it's going to give us some hope for the future, which has been a little bit difficult for the past few weeks, and all this time that we've been stuck by ourselves indoors away from a lot of our loved ones. So this is going to really bring us hope and let us to see like the broader outlook. And I think I can say this because I'm filming this only 2 days before this new moon. I think we're already starting to see a lot of things looking more hopeful. In terms of the virus and everything out there, it seems like things are sort of starting to die down. So, hope is there, but we still have to do our part in the meantime. But just trying to think about all the things that are good and the things that we're happy about, and maybe thinking about the things we're grateful for about this time that we had to be in quarantine, right? We also have Mercury square Pluto, which is about deep thinking and ideas. So we might have new ideas for the future. This is a time when we want to really try and think about our lives, think about the things we want to do differently, think about, the type of person you really want to be and how you want to show up in the world. And then you'll be able to communicate any of your ideas really well right now too. So if you have an important message to share, it's going to be a really great time to share that message, and you will be able to get those messages very easily because your intuition is being triggered at this time as well. We have Mercury semi-sextile Neptune, which is an opportunity for deep discussion. So once again, this is going to be a great time to have deep discussions. Maybe you can't be in person with someone, but call them up and have more than just small talk, right? Call them up and ask them what they think about some crazy things, ask them what they think about the fact that we're on a planet floating through space, and how much more there is to life than these concerns that we have right now, and how much more is going on out there in the world for us, and how much more is going on in the universe too. So trying to have these broader discussions at this time are going to make for some really amazing communication. We also have Venus trine Mars, which is going to be about friendship and socializing. So again, even if you can't go out and see your friends in person, really reach out to people. It's going to be a great time to have these wonderful friendships developing, maybe relationships developing. You can talk to someone online, that kind of thing. It's going to be a harmonious time for that. And we have Venus square Neptune, which is going to bring about some insecurities. So you might have some insecurities like, I haven't talked to that person in a while. Maybe I shouldn't reach out. Maybe they don't care to hear from me. Well, guess what? Just go for it, right? It's going to be a great time to have a deep discussion. Maybe even reconciliation could be very possible at this time, as long as you're being careful and you're not falling into that moon square Pluto energy where you could say something compulsive and destructive. So trying to really have good, positive, and deep communications with others at this time. And we can really come out of all of this with much better relationships if we can really just show people that we care at this time. It's a great time to reach out to people you haven't talked to in a long time. Then we also have Mars square Uranus, which is about rebelling against authority. So there might be this need for people to break out now. I was talking to someone recently that was saying, we just can't do this anymore. We need to just get out there. We need to be going back to work and doing all these things. And it's this need that people are starting to feel. We're getting really stir crazy. So we're starting to think like, why am I even doing this? I need to get back out there, and wanting to really rebel against the authorities that are telling us otherwise. So there might be a need for that. And that's something that we're going to notice at this time. And then we have Jupiter conjunct Saturn, which is about breaking through and growing. So it's a time when you can really have a major breakthrough, right? We've been sitting in this stillness for so long, and hopefully you've allowed yourself to actually sit with yourself. And we can be having personal breakthroughs. We can have breakthroughs in our businesses. I know I am. We can be having all sorts of different breakthroughs about how we show up in the world. And then we have Jupiter square Uranus, which is about sudden transformation and also about choosing which opportunities are important to take. So taking this time or slowed down to really decide which opportunities are worth your time and which opportunities are not worth your time. And then that can lead to a really serious transformation about your life. And then we also have Jupiter conjunct Pluto, which is basically telling us to be good, and then karma will reward us. So if you are doing good things, you're caring for people, you're being a good person, you're putting good energy out there, good stuff is going to come back to you with this Jupiter conjunct Pluto. So karma could be definitely at play at this time. So hopefully you've played your cards in a loving way. And Saturn square Uranus is going to bring about difficult changes to requiring us to be patient. So difficult changes, right? That's what we're all going through. We don't know if the world is ever going to be the same again. So it's really important to just be patient and just to see what happens, and to accept that different is not bad, right? Different could be very beneficial. And change is essentially a good thing. It moves us forward. Without change, we would just remain stagnant and we would never improve. So trying to see these changes as positive things, right? And then we have Saturn conjunct Pluto, and that is hard work and also changes. And then honesty. So being honest about these changes, being honest about the fact that we have a lot of work to do, those kinds of things. And then we have Uranus, semi-square Neptune, which is about the self versus the collective, ego versus oneness. So it's like this idea of like the self wants to go out and do all the things that I desire to do, but we're staying home and we're staying to protect the oneness, to have unity in this staying at home in order to have a greater impact for the greater good. And then we also have Pluto quintile Chiron, which is about transformation, transforming our feelings and thoughts, about wounds and healing. So we're having this transformation about how we heal, about our healthcare system, all these kinds of things. And we're really transforming how we think about our own health and wellness. And then Neptune semi-sextile Pluto is the last aspect I want to talk about, and that's going to be about creativity and spiritual awakening. So a lot of people during this time, this like forced solitude, this forced sort of slowing down, people are going to be having these amazing spiritual awakenings, because guess what? You have time now for that, right? I mean, I know you always kind of had time for that, but now you have time for nothing but that, right? That's the only thing you can do, because you can't escape yourself right now. And so we're going to have a lot of spiritual awakenings, a lot of transformations. A lot of people are going to be being a lot more creative. The creativity is opening up. We're in the age of Aquarius, so there's going to be a lot of this new sort of thinking. We're in the midst of major changes, guys, and it's going to be really amazing. It's unfortunate that it was something so negative or perceived to be negative that is occurring in the world, and people are going through so much pain and trauma, but it's going to end up really moving us forward, right? We're going to move forward from here, and we're going to be better as a society. We're going to be better as individuals, and it's going to be a really beautiful world once things sort of clear out, right? But now is the time, while we're waiting for that to happen, that we look within, we see how we're doing, and we try to change things for the better of not only ourselves, but for all of humanity. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I felt like there was a lot of cool messages that came through while I was going through this all. And I hope that you really enjoy this new moon and you take this time to manifest the life that you want, because you can have anything that you desire. You just have to really put the time into allowing yourself to know what it is you want and then taking steps and actions to make that happen. And the first thing you have to do is to know what you want. So write that manifestation list, put it under your pillow, carry it in your purse. You know, whatever it is that makes you feel powerful, go and do that and use these energies to your benefit. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this spoke to you in one way or another. I hope you got something positive out of it. And I am sending you all my love from Greenwood Lake, New York. Please comment below if you have any other video requests or any questions. I love you guys so much. Love and light, and we'll be back next time.